Today, we're going to get you to be moving a character around in WASD on a 2D easy script. And as a bonus, I will teach you how to add a background and this character to your object. So that way you're not just moving a box around or a cylinder or a square around. You'll actually have a little character around. But if you are just wanting the script right here, you can pause the video and type the script out, and I'll leave that up. But if you actually want to learn something and understand what you're typing and why you're typing it into these areas, then go ahead and continue to watch the video, and I will explain what I typed, how I typed it, or I should say why I typed it and why I put where it needs to go here in your player script. The first thing we're going to do when you get in there into your Unity is you're going to create a object. Now, if you look down here, you're not going to see this right here in the game, in your game view. What happened and why it's like that is if you come over here, if you didn't know, you can come over here and you can turn off objects from your scene view, and that's what I've done. I have my player and my ground hidden on my scene view, and that's why, but it'll still show in my game view. So what you'll see is at the bottom of your game view is you'll just see a gray area, or you'll just see a white box with a gray area like you're seeing up here. But we'll explain this at the end if you guys want to do this. All right, for the first thing you're going to want to do is, I've already created it, but you can go ahead and do that. You're going to go over here to your hierarchy, right click, 2D object, sprite. You're going to want to get either a triangle, a square, a circle. It really doesn't matter for this purpose. But if you're trying to do a character, I would just do a capsule. You can create a capsule, call it whatever you want, and name it whatever you want. Player, in this case, that's what I name mine as player. So you can do that. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come down here to your assets. You're going to right click. You're going to create new monoscript behavior and go ahead and name that. We'll just say, we'll call ours test. As a side note, this is going to stay highlighted. Name it to whatever you want, and then you're good. But if you accidentally named it something you didn't want, you can go ahead and click on it and hit F2 and then rename it. So you can go ahead and do that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on your player or whatever you called it. This is reloading real quick. It's importing the assets that I've created and stuff like that in Unity. So we'll give that a second. There you go, it's gone. So you click on your player object, whatever you named it, and then you're going to go to add components. Now my player already has a script added to it. What you can do it two ways. You can come over to your project, click and drag it over and let go. Or you can click add component and type in script or SCR, and you'll find your script for your player here. My script's not listed because I already have it attached, but you can do that if you wanted to. You could do it that way as well. So go ahead and right click. We're going to delete this one. Yes, we're going to delete that. It's going to update it. And then another side little note, as a beginner, you can also do this little tricks that I've learned from watching videos and stuff like that. You can go ahead and right click on your asset area. You can click create a new folder, call it scripts. I already have one made, and then you can drag your scripts into it. This is a great little thing to keep everything pretty and neat in your assets. You have like your asset folder. If I click on my assets folder, I have my assets, I have my characters, I have my sprites and all that stuff right there. It just keeps everything organized, so you don't have a bunch of stuff just hanging out there. Just a little side note. All right, so once you've done that, you have your player script. Go ahead and double click on your script. And when you click on your script, obviously it's not going to have all this information already put in here. What you're going to have is your public class player movement mono behavior. This is basically a public class, whatever you named it. I have mine's labeled as player movement for the object. And then it's a mono behavior. Basically everything that's what you're going to do here is a behavior that's going to be applied in Unity to the object that the script is attached to. All right, so that's just a little side note. Then also you're going to have this little information. You won't have this right here. That won't be there, but you'll have this information with your void start. When you open it up, then you're going to have a void update, and that's it. That's what you're going to see when you open up your script. All this stuff that's in between the void update and everything that's in the void start. I don't have anything in the void start, and we'll explain why that is as we go along. But yeah, just so you know. All right. So when you go into Unity, the very first thing you're going to create is what's called a serialized field private float speed equals 5F. And you can make this number 2F, 3F, whatever. I just made it a whole number 5, just for training, just for purposes. So what this is doing, this serialized field is creating, when you come into, once you create it and type it, if you click on your player, it is creating a attribute for speed right here, which means when you're in Unity and you're playing your game, instead of having to stop Unity, adjust the number in your script, you can adjust it right here. So I have this going right now. So if I hit, I'm moving at 10. If I think that's too fast, let's say you can either drag the number right here by point decimals. Let's just say let's move it down to 5. It'll update automatically in your game when you hit play. And you can see the difference in speed now. When I hit WASD, I ain't going that fast. But keep note, if I hit stop, this speed goes back to 10. So if you want to use 5 permanently, just go ahead and change it to right here, and now it'll permanently change it. And when you go into script, you won't have to adjust it from here or anything like that. This is just a start right here. It'll create it as a 5 and a 10, whatever you want. All right, so this part, private float, this is part of the syntax. Private is basically meaning that this whole line is locked. This number cannot be used and tied into another script. It is locked to this script only. And as a beginner, hey guys, if you're game dev, been doing it for years, if I say anything incorrectly, go ahead and throw it in the comments below. I'm still learning this. That's why I'm just passing this information on to you guys. But yeah, if I say anything incorrectly, I do apologize. Just throw it in the comments below. But we're learning. We're having fun. All right, moving on next. This part here, void start. I don't have anything in here because void start basically is gonna tell Unity to check things one time. All right. Void update, anything that you have in void update, Unity is going to check 60 frames per second. So you're going to put stuff in here that needs to be continuous all the way through the game to keep checking. You want Unity to keep checking all of this. All right. In void start, you're telling Unity, okay, check it once and that's it. That's the easiest concept that I can tell you or explain how the difference between void start is and void update. And the reason we put everything in here in void update versus void start is we want Unity to continuously check movement, continuously check if I'm pushing the W, A, S, or D key in Unity 60 frames per second. I think that's the easiest way I can explain to you the difference between void start and void update. All right, so that being said, let's go into void update. After you get your serialized field private float speed equals 5S, don't forget your colon right there. Also, I want to add we can make this public. We could put public right here. And basically now that is telling Unity or your scripts that can be used, you can use this speed in other scripts. It's not just going to be tied to this script. So you can do that. But most of the time, we want these to be just for this script right here. So we're going to keep it private. All right. Right here. Also, too, on a side note, I am using Visual Studio Community as well. Not Visual Studio, just Visual Studio Community. And I'll leave a link for that in the description down below. And I'll also leave a link in the description down below for the assets that we're going to use on this. It is pay what you want. I got this from itch.io for these assets, and that way you'll be able to follow along. For future videos, I understand that this character is not animated when I move and stuff like that, because that's animation, and that's a whole new category or subject or script in itself. What we want here is just the basic WASD, getting used to Unity, getting used to typing in code, and understanding what we're doing. Just the basic fundamentals. This is part of the basic fundamentals, is creating this movement. Because obviously most games, 90% of the time or more, there's going to be some type of movement involved, whether it's a 3D or 2D object that you're trying to move. All right. The next thing we're going to do is under void, we are going to type float space move x equals 0f colon, and then the same thing but move y for float. So like I said before, void update will read your script to 60 frames per second. And the first thing it's going to check is if you are not doing any of this below, then your X and Y are going to be 0, which means you're not going to be moving at all. Then if you aren't moving, then it's going to see, are you moving? And in this case, we have what's called an if statement. If, in parentheses, keyboard.current dot the key that we want to push, in this case W, key dot is pressed, then that means this W key, once it's pressed, and I also the and I think this is the and sign. Both of these basically means and. Keyboard.current.s key is pressed, then in curly brackets in the middle, move y equals 0f. So if the W key and the D and the S key are pressed at the same time, then Unity or the script is basically going to say, okay, we're not moving at all if both of those keys are pressed. Also, it's going to be an else if statement, else if in parentheses keyboard.current.w key is is pressed, then move y 1f or move y in the direction of the y axis just 1. So if these two keys are pressed, we're not going to that means Unity is not going to do, the script is not going to let you do anything. But if the W key is just pressed, then that means we are going to allow you to move in the y-axis 1 with the speed as well that we'd have talked about earlier with the serialized float speed right here. All right, so that's what this whole area means, including up here. So the bottom part is basically going to deal with your x-axis, your A key and your D key. And what I wrote here is basically the same thing that I wrote up here, except we are replacing the W with the A key and the D key, or I apologize, the S key with the D key. So this is pretty much the same thing, but with an A key and a D key. And instead of the move Y, we're going to be talking about the X axis, which is move X. So if we move X, with the A key pressed, that means we're moving in negative space along here. That means if you look at your rotation, your position, you're moving left, it's going down into the negative. So that's what that means right there. And if you're moving with the D key and you're moving along the x-axis, then it's going to be a +1 instead of a negative. That means because you're moving right, anything in Unity is basically set up in a left side negative, a right side positive, an up in the y-axis is positive, a down in the y-axis is negative. So kind of keep that out. Let me visualize this. So basically, here is our W. This is the y-axis. So this is our W and S key. Here is our x-axis, which is A and W key. That's the way of visualizing it. If I didn't come across as, if I made it confusing for you, that's the easiest thing I can explain it for you. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is this little line of code and what does that actually mean and why do we put it at the bottom? Well, we're going to put it at the bottom because Unity is going to check from top to down. And this kind of just puts it all together from what we put up here. Vector 3 is basically essentially a mathematical container that holds the three numbers, your X value, your Y value, and this is your Z. And since we're working in 2D space, this is going to be a 0F. So vector 3 move direction equals new. It's like it contains everything, and we're gonna make it's basically like a new think of it like a 3D arrow or a set of GPS coordinates, telling Unity which direction you're gonna go and how far. This tells us the new part. This basically is telling Unity it's a new vector from scratch using numbers that you put in parentheses. So this whole thing is what the Unity or hat for the code is going to be right here. And instead of putting integers, we use move X because that's what we have up here. So we're going to put that down here as our X value and our Y value since we're moving X and Y. And then it's going to translate that into a transform dot translate. It's going to take this information, you're going to type this out, and it's going to put it all together at the end. So it's basically an online script. You pass this move direction. So transform dot translate in parentheses. You're going to move that direction, time your speed. Okay, remember speed was up here. We used that as a speed, as a float speed. So instead of putting numbers, it's reading what we have in the script. So we know it's move direction, all the vectors and stuff for the direction X and Y. It's going to totally combine that into a move direction from the vector, but it's going to be transform and translate. It's reading it from up here. And then we're going to multiply speed times time dot delta time. Is basically multiplying the amount of speed that you have indicated up here for 5. But again, keep in side note that you can adjust that speed in your game scene. And the time dot delta, this is a built-in code that is basically telling that no matter what computer you're running, whether it's a good computer, a really high-speed computer, or a really cruddy computer, that no matter what kind of computer you're running, it's all going to run this whole movement in the same amount of frames. That's the easiest way I can explain times dot delta time. And then at the end, we're going to put our colon. All right, guys, let's talk assets. All right, so we went to the page where I got it downloaded from. Like I said, I'll put the link down below. Just go over here, click download. I'll give you a zip file, and open up the zip file. We're going to drag that folder that's in the zip file onto our assets, and I'll show you how to do that here shortly. But I just wanted to also point out that if you're using a lot of this stuff for free, just check the licensing. It'll tell you exactly if you can use it for commercial, non-commercial, or both, or one or the other. Just always check that, because if you're just going to use these free assets for personal use, you should be fine. But if you want to put these in an actual game or make any type of money in a game or something like that, you can. But yeah, just always be conscious of that. And if you go into this website, itch.io, and you just type free 2D assets, or in this case, I tag 2D and medieval assets and stuff, it's just a plethora of objects, animation, game objects. It's just whole sorts. This is a great website for just basic things that you want to get started in, especially with game dev. And I just think it's freaking awesome. Okay, so that being said, let's click out of here. What I did as I got on ahead, I grabbed my folder out of the zip file. I went into my assets folder and I dragged it into my assets folder right here, and it has my main character. And if you open it up, you have all your sprites. Now it'll open up like this. They gave you 3 characters for animation and stuff like that. But if you just go into here and you click on the first one, what you want to do is come over here to your right, and you want to put these sprites in a certain way. So for sprite mode, you want to put it at multiple, since there's multiple sprites on the sheet. Pixels per unit, just keep that at 100. And if you scroll down here for compression, put that at none. That'll give you the best quality for your pixels or for your art and stuff like that. Unless you know specifically what size pixels you're using, just go ahead and I put none. Now, for simplicity purposes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in here, and then you'll also know that your characters or your sprites have been sliced, because you'll notice they have a square around them. If they don't have these little squares, then that means their character sheet hasn't been sliced. That's a whole nother thing. But in this case, these ones have already been done for you for that. So that's great. A lot of those assets on there will already be, well, I would say 90% of them are already going to be sliced for you. But another way to tell is if you look at the sheet itself, the sprite sheet itself, they'll show you a little arrow that indicates that it's already been sliced. And then it shows you every single one right here. So what we're going to do is let's just go, I think this is number 15. We're going to drag our asset character into our hierarchy. And as you can see, our sprite will appear onto our scene and into our game view. You can name it. We'll just keep it right here. We'll just keep it at character idle 15. And then what you're going to want to do is click on the player object for player that has your script. You can either one of 2 things. You can go into the sprite renderer and look where it says none, and then you can click the little plus icon and it gives you a list of all your sprites, and click one of those and fill that up. Or in this case, what you can also do is just drag it from your asset or your project folder on to your sprite. It'll highlight blue, and boom, now your character is loaded on to your object. Now, the other thing you want to do, and this is good practice, is if you have a player, in this case, has your script with a sprite associated on it, you always want to get in practice to put your character, and in this case, your object together. You want to have what's called a parent-child relationship right here, where the object, the main object that has everything in there is, in this case, player. You want them to be the parent. So anything you do with this parent, with your script, will affect the child, in this case, your character. All right. And this goes for the animations and stuff down the road when we get into all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's generally a good rule of practice to do that. And then it also keeps your hierarchy nice and clean as well. Now, also, if you look at your character and you look over at your sprite, it already has location of dead center and stuff like that. It already has a sprite character attached to it. Your player character also has a sprite player attached to it. So if you go over to your character, not your object, I'm sorry. If you go to your character and just go ahead and uncheck this, it's going to get rid of the character because you'll have two basic characters if you didn't do that on your scene and in your game scene and on your scene right here. So I unchecked the sprite. So now all you actually see is just the character that you put, or the object that you put the sprite on. The other reason why you want to do this is because if you think the sprite is a little too small and you want to make it bigger, instead of doing that on your object, in this case your player object, it can get a little messy down the road, especially if you have more characters and stuff, and it could affect the game and stuff from what I've read, what I've heard. So to not worry about any of that, you can go into your character sheet or your character and scale it, do whatever you want, move it or anything. Oops, we actually did that wrong. We want to go into the character and uncheck the player sprite and uncheck it, or the object, not the character. There we go. We want the character, not the object player sprite. So there we go. Now, if you scale it or move it, in this case, let's rescale it. Say we think it's too small, we can scale it up a little bit, and it won't affect the transformation or anything on the player object, just the character. If you wanted to rotate it or anything like that, everything is done to the character, not the actual object. So I hope that makes sense. I'm still learning, but from what I hear, it's good practice to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, there you go. So now you have a movement. Oh, I also, if you didn't notice, you'll notice I don't have the background on here. The reason I took that off because when I went into itch.io, the sprite sheet with the background and stuff wasn't cut, it wasn't sliced. So instead of giving you that object without any of that stuff already done, that would lead down another rabbit hole with slicing and sprite sheets and stuff, and I didn't want to do that. So I just decided not to do it and make life simple, and we're just focusing on moving and applying the character, so it's not just an object moving out in space. You have a little something to move around. So if you hit play, let's test it out. And this character in the game scene should be moving around. Boom, and there you go. We can move it, scroll out here and push that there. And then we have a character that's moving WASD around. There you have it. We'll go ahead and stop it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I do want to say, hey, as you can see, we're at 4 subscribers for the channel. Our goal is to try to hit 1,000. That's the key goal here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. For those guys who did subscribe on my very first video, much love and much support I got already out of that video in the comments below. If I said anything wrong, you did anything wrong, please throw it in the comments below. I'm still learning. But if you also want to know why I'm doing this and all the craziness, go ahead and watch the video that I have above here. Watch that video, and other than that, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, throw the comments down below, and hey, game devs, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.